A large company invests €3.5 billion in research and development in 2012. It intends to increase this amount by 8% each year after that. Write in scientific notation the amount it intends to invest in research and development between 2012 and 2015 inclusive. So that means 2012, 13, 14 and 15. So in order to do this question, the first thing we have to do is figure out what 1 billion looks like as a number. So 1 billion is going to be 1, 000, 000, 000, 000. There are 9 zeros in a billion. If you're not sure, think about there are 6 zeros in a million, so add on another 3 zeros to get a billion. And this number written to the power of 10 is going to be 10 to the power of 9 because there are 9 zeros. So that's very important that we know 1 billion is going to be 10 to the power of 9. Okay, so in 2012, the company invested €3.5 billion. So the first thing that we need to do is rewrite 3.5 billion in scientific notation. So that's going to be 3.5 times 10 to the power of 9. So in 2012, there was 3.5 billion invested, which is 3.5 times 10 to the power of 9. So then let's move on to 2013. In 2013, we have the 3.5 times 10 to the power of 9. We're going to multiply it by 1.08 because we know that the amount increases by 8% each year. And 1.08 as a decimal is the same thing as 108%. So if we multiply that by 1.08, we're going to get what that amount will be with the 8% added on. So this will work out to be 3.78 times 10 to the power of 9, because 3.5 times 1.08 gives us 3.78. So you get 3.78 times 10 to the power of 9. So for 2014, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take that initial amount, 3.5 times 10 to the power of 9, and this time we're going to multiply it by 1.08 squared, because squared is going to represent 2 years. The power of 2 is going to represent 2 years. And that's going to give us 4.0824 times 10 to the power of 9. We're going to do the same for 2015. We start with our initial amount, 3.5 times 10 to the power of 9, and we're going to multiply it by 1.08 raised to the power of 3, because to the power of 3 is going to represent 3 years. And that's going to give us 4.409 times 10 to the power of 9. Now what we want to do is add our 4 answers together. So 3.5 times 10 to the power of 9 plus 3.78 times 10 to the power of 9 plus 4.0824 times 10 to the power of 9 plus 4.409 to the power times 10 to the power of 9. Now when we are adding in scientific notation, adding or subtracting, we have to make sure that our 10 is to the same power. And if it's not, we'll have to rewrite our number so that the powers are matching. But the powers are already matching for us. So we can straight away just add up the decimal numbers. The 3.5 plus the 3.78 plus the 4.0824 plus the 4.409. We add those together down here, and that's still times 10 to the power of 9, because 10 to the power of 9 was the highest common factor with the 4 numbers. So we add these together and we get 15.7714 times 10 to the power of 9. Now this is not in scientific notation, because for this to be scientific notation, this number, which is usually represented by an A, has to be greater or equal to 1 but less than 10. And at the moment it's 15.7714, which is greater than 10. So if the power is getting bigger, the decimal point moves to the left, or if the decimal point is moving to the left, the power is going to have to get bigger. So we're going to have to move this decimal point to the left. So the point goes in between the 1 and the 5, ending up here, giving us 1.57714. And since we moved the decimal point one place to the left, we have to increase the power by 1. So 10 to the power of 9 becomes 10 to the power of 10. So in scientific notation, we end up with 1.57714 times 10 to the power of 9 euro, which is the same thing as 15.77 billion euro. So the 15.77 came from up here. It was just rounded off to 2 decimal places. And I know it's billion because I know that billions are always 10 to the power of 9. So we were asked to write in scientific notation the amount it intends to invest, the company intends to invest in research and development between 2012 and 2015 inclusive. And we worked it out to be 1.57714 times 10 to the power of 10 euro, or in other words, 15.77 billion euro.